Good evening, Commonwealth, and thanks for watching the Channel 2 News. I'm Ashley McDowell. Let's take a look at tonight's top stories. COVID-19 testing equipment has arrived, but more components are needed to begin using the machines to test. Also tonight, the Learning at Home packages are being distributed to PSS students. And COTA is receiving a large amount of money to continue operations during these challenging times. Stay with us, these stories and more are next.
We are with you. At times when you need us most, you can count on us to be there. When you need someone to talk to. When you need to stay informed. When you need to brighten your day. When you need to stay connected. We are here keeping our promise that while the world is changing, we keep working so you can keep connecting. We are your Docomo Pacific family, and we are here to help.
My family is on whole home Wi-Fi powered by Plume.
Since we installed the Docomo whole home Wi-Fi, what did you guys notice about it?
When you pull up the driveway, it automatically connects, and I don't have to get out of my car right away and come upstairs to go on my phone.
My favorite thing is that it doesn't buffer when I'm watching YouTube.
My favorite thing is that when Addie calls now, there's no lag. Like before, it used to be where I couldn't see her sometimes and I have to hang up and then call her back, and now I don't have to do that.
You know what's a good thing too is that when you come over to visit, I could give you your own password. I can assign a time limit so that I can say that you can only be on it for 1 hour, so that means you won't get in trouble from your mom.
And then you could go home.
The thing that I love the most is that I can freeze the internet for periods of time so that we can enjoy dinner time like this. Right, rolling your eyes. So I'll turn it back on after dinner.
Whole home Wi-Fi powered by Plume. Docomo Pacific, better together.
Hafa Day, Tirawami, and good evening, Commonwealth. Today is Monday, April 13th, 2020. The equipment to test for the coronavirus has arrived at CHCC, but more components are needed before testing can officially be done in the CNMI. As of today, April 13th, 2020, the Commonwealth Healthcare Corporation has collected 55 specimens for testing of COVID-19 in the CNMI. 48 have been completed and 7 are pending, with a total of 36 tests that have come back negative.
We have 11 cases that have been confirmed positive, 2 have died, and we are sending tests as we almost every day, except of course when it comes to travel, especially since it requires a lot of paperwork to be done to ship specimen to Guam. So right now we have 7 pending results from Guam and or DLS.
CHCC CEO Esther Muña says there are 12 individuals that are being quarantined at Kanoa Resort and 66 that are being quarantined at PIC as of today.
Both quarantine sites, we have CHCC personnel there. We also have the medical team, which includes 2 medical doctors, and actually 2 medical doctors are running it, but there's more doctor providers there, as well as nursing team to monitor their symptoms and to ensure that they're practically okay. So we have teams on both sides.
Over the weekend, Congressman Gregorio Sablan announced the Department of Health and Human Services is providing an initial distribution of $798,346 to the Marianas for coronavirus testing and treatment.
The purpose of that is really for the response of COVID-19. So it could mean from anything from renovations of lab. It can mean anything from test kits. The procedure. I mean, any treatment costs basically. So that's what it's for.
Munoz says the hospital has already received the equipment to test for COVID-19, but is still awaiting a few other components before the machines can be used to test in the CNMI.
Lab testing can be done here. So once the equipment, right now there's a couple of equipments here at CHCC that are been given the emergency use authorization by FDA. Those equipments can be utilized. However, the testing kits are not available now at this time. But we're hoping to get, the equipment, more equipment, and more testing kits. I believe the Abbott testing kits is probably the quickest one that's going to arrive here in the CNMI.
She says they are hoping to start testing on Saipan within the next week. Tents have been set up at the upper level parking of the hospital that contain 40 hospital beds in case there is a surge at the CHCC main building.
It's medical care and treatment site, and CATS. And so what the purpose of that is not necessarily what we call field hospital. It's really to divert the surge of the current facility right now that we have here at CHCC. And, hopefully we don't use it. What we're praying we don't have to use it, but just in case, we want to be able to make sure that we have the capability and to make sure that we are, when there's a surge, that we actually have the beds available for it.
Munoz is asking anyone that has the symptoms of coughing, fever, and difficulty breathing to visit CHCC to get tested for COVID-19.
I was a little bit concerned about, someone messaged me today about the people are not necessarily, I guess people are scared to come to CHCC for the testing. Even though we don't have the capability, we know that we can collect the specimen. Our doctor can actually do the assessment and, medical assessment and determine whether or not a testing is necessary. And this doesn't, I'm hoping that everyone who has symptoms really come forward and not be afraid. I mean, I hear about undocumented people, please come to CHCC. We are not we're here to make sure that everyone gets tested. This is our population. It doesn't matter whether you're a non-resident worker or a foreign worker or not. We're basically saying come to CHCC, and if you present the symptoms, we want to see you so that we can immediately do our contact tracing and being able to identify individuals that are at risk, especially if they may have the virus and they don't know it. So we want to make sure that people come forward. Our tents are open, every day. Please come to CHCC and check out, visit our doctors, our providers that are there to help you out and help you through the process.
Reporting for KSPN, I'm Ashley McDowell. The Learning at Home packets for CNMI public school system students are now available. It's bringing the classroom to the students. It's the Learning at Home packets. The Learning at Home packet is material provided to PSS students in replacement of classroom instruction, a way of keeping students engaged. But since classrooms are closed, the work will not be graded. A release from PSS states the work will come in the form of digital, paper, or web, all based on the teacher. Since the Learning at Home packets will not be graded, PSS states the school year 2019-2020 grades will be calculated from the beginning of the school year to March 13th, the last day students attended class. Students that were not passing at the third quarter will receive a "will be completed" on their transcripts. The learning packets will be available by email, physical pickup, or for download on some schools' websites or social media pages. Learning packets will be distributed at elementary and middle schools April 13th through the 17th, and at high schools April 13th through the 16th. For a list of locations and times of distribution, visit cnmipssoare.org/district. Reporting for KSPN, I'm Ashley McDowell. The mayor of Tinian, Edwin Aldon, speaks out on how residents on Tinian are handling the COVID-19 pandemic.
it's a small community. Things can get done faster. That's one of the advantages. And pretty much, it took kind of little bit, couple of days for the people to get used to staying home, doing the distance, and abiding by the change of the store hours. You know, it become like a nightmare just to go to the store and have shopping. Those are challenges that we had in the beginning. But for now, I do know that we've seen empty places in our community that we've never seen before. Beach has always been full, but now no more beach. You gotta stay home.
Mayor Aldon is asking the residents on Tinian to focus on reliable sources for information, not social media.
One of the issues that I have to acknowledge and let our people know is, we gotta stop using social media as a negative way. We need to be as civil as we can and to really refocus our fear and anxiety in trying to put more energy in just doing our part just to combat this crisis. You know? Follow the directives is what we're asking. It's not. I know it's a shock to our culture. We're not used to this, but it's something that it's been done all over the world, and it is proven that the only way to really beat this coronavirus is to stay home. When you move, coronavirus moves, and it affects other people, or you might end up getting it from another person. So those are the things we try to make it, not only to publish out in social media, but visit one another, call one another in this family, and we say, you don't really need to visit me. You can just always pick up the phone and we can Skype, we can WhatsApp. And that's the advantage nowadays. The technology is there.
Currently, no one has tested positive for COVID-19 on Tinian, and there are no quarantine sites on the island. Aldon says when an individual has to be quarantined, they get flown to Saipan.
As you know, it was on social media that person, one of those guests came out here and did a congregation, and it was on the news that it was 50 people, approximately 50 people that participated. The following day, the health center with the task force, COVID-19 task force, started doing the initial investigation and the interviews. We do have self-quarantine from that particular group, and there is a secondary from the people that they got in touch, they got in contact with. So we did already we're going through quarantine. We are the FEMA under the Public Assistance Program. Patrick was out here a couple weeks ago. We looked at, we only have like 5 motels, and there's 0 other than one of the hotels that accommodates the military that were here before this outbreak of this pandemic. And we have, I believe they're now negotiating for like a standby quarantine center for people that are positive coronavirus. But as for now, while the leases or the agreement has not been consummated, the procedure is to send them to Saipan.
Tinian Municipality has also been directed to cut its budget by 50% for the remainder of the fiscal year, which will result in the furlough and termination of municipal employees.
Wish everybody safe, take care out there, and may God bless us all.
Governor Torres has announced the CNMI is eligible for the Federal Pandemic Unemployment Compensation. The U.S. Department of Labor Employment and Training Administration announced over the weekend that the CNMI is eligible for the Federal Pandemic Unemployment Compensation Program, in addition to the Pandemic Unemployment Assistance Program. The FPUC program will provide eligible individuals $600 per week in addition to the PUA program. Governor Torres says, quote, Secretary Benavente and her hard-working team at Labor are in calls with USDOL every day to get additional confirmation on the eligibility for our government employees. We remain optimistic that we will be able to take care of our government and the many private sector employees who have been affected by no fault of their own. We ask the entire community to wait for official guidance from my office and the CNMI DOL on these programs and to find out who is eligible. We are working around the clock for everyone on this important assistance, end quote. When the eligibility requirements and benefits are applicable to the CNMI, DOL will be the primary agency in announcing the program and will give instructions on the date, time, location, phone numbers, and email addresses for submission of the PUA and the FPUC applications. CNMI DOL is asking individuals who plan to apply to prepare their documents ahead of time, which include a certification letter from their employer, a valid ID with photo, passport, copies of the latest paycheck stubs, and social security number. The certification letter must include working hours and reduced hours before layoff or termination. The Commonwealth Office of Transit Authority is set to receive over $1 million in grants to assist in response efforts to the COVID-19 outbreak. The funding will go toward operational expenses, health and safety efforts of public transit, and for the purchase of protective equipment, according to Special Assistant for Public Transportation, Alfreda Camacho. The funding is paid by the federal government and will not require a local match. A release from COTA states the grants may also support backdated expenses starting from January 20th, 2020. Camacho says, quote, This funding allows for the sustainability of our transit program while supporting the governor's COVID-19 task force in any way possible. We are very grateful to the U.S. Department of Transportation, Federal Transit Administration for their continued support for these much-needed funds to operate in a safe manner that protects all passengers and transit employees, most especially during these challenging times for all of us here in the CNMI, end quote. Coming up, the first responders at CHCC received a nice surprise today at lunch. More after the break.
Mom, are you sure? What about the shutters? And do you have your medicine?
Don't worry about us, love, okay? You take good care of yourself. I'm in love. Yeah, sorry. The power went out, so I had to light up all the candles. Yeah. Yes, baby, yeah. I'm just glad our home phone's working and we're able to contact you.
Winigi Pechay Pharmacy in Gofadahi Ihinim Lomo.
Our complete line of pharmaceuticals and lowest prices ensure you get the treatment that you deserve.
Our compassionate, friendly, multilingual staff will take the time to get to know you, explain your medications to you, and answer any questions that you may have.
Nere ayor sumaye uhalweres ren, kutsu wayor safeye emal ebalisyu klalyamweres.
Inumin ang inyong gamot ayon sa inireseta ng inyong doktor at alinsunod sa bilin ng inyong pharmaceutical.
We accept most insurance, but in case you don't have coverage, we offer cost-effective generic drugs.
PHI Pharmacy, your lifelong partner in health. PHI, the pharmacy you can trust.
Mom, are you sure? What about the shutters? And do you have your medicine?
Don't worry about us, love, okay? You take good care of yourself. I'm in love. Yeah, sorry. The power went out, so I had to light up all the candles. Yeah. Yes, baby, yeah. I'm just glad our home phone's working and we're able to contact you.
Welcome back to the Channel 2 News. A special donation was given to the frontline employees by McDonald's today. Take a listen.
This is our donation, just a way of saying thank you for, we appreciate you guys' work. You are working, you know, the doctors, the nurses, all the front line up at the hospital. So just thank you.
You do appreciate the bravery of each and every one. Thank you for taking care and for prioritizing the safety of our community.
I know it's scary, but you know, they really, you know, do what they have to do.
McDonald's made a special donation today to fill the bellies of all the frontline employees at CHCC.
We're donating lunch, to all the CHC frontliners, so the nurses and the doctors. So this is just one way, a small way of us thanking them for being so brave and taking care of our community. Everybody's scared, but they're not.
100 quarter-pounder meals were donated to CHCC by McDonald's. Olaes says on Wednesday, McDonald's will be donating breakfast to the Department of Public and Emergency Medical Services. One more way of thanking those on the front line during these challenging times.
Thank you to McDonald's for your donations, and thank you for helping out with everything that we can. You know, it really means a lot to us.
The McDonald's on Middle Road is now open from 6:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. and the McDonald's on Beach Road is open from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Congressman Gregorio Khalili Sablan is warning small businesses of potential scams when it comes to SBA loans, grants, and debt relief. The CARES Act provides business owners and private nonprofits relief with payroll protection, grants funding, and loan assistance. And the Small Business Administration is alerting businesses of scams that are occurring. SBA states if you are contacted by someone promising to approve a SBA loan but is asking for a payment up front, this could be fraud. SBA says they do not initiate contact on either disaster loans or grants, and if someone does contact you, suspect fraud. Also, be on the lookout for email scams that are using the SBA logo. SBA says these emails may be attempts to obtain personal bank access or install malware on your computer. Any email that is sent by SBA will end with sba.gov. For more information, contact the CNMI Small Business Development Center at 670-664-3018. The Bureau of Environmental and Coastal Quality is resuming water sampling at the locations of Saipan, Tinian, and Rota this week. BECQ analyzes water samples collected at 85 beaches and storm drainages on the islands of Saipan, Tinian, and Rota to determine if they contain bacteria and if the locations meet the CNMI water quality standards. BECQ sent out a release stating due to the recent closure of public beaches and suspension of inter-island flights, the sampling for those sites was suspended. But since Governor Torres has opened the beaches back up, BECQ will resume water sampling this week. To receive weekly marine water quality reports, email waterqualityreport@becq.gov.mp. On Guam, more aid is on the way for the COVID-19 outbreak. KUAM reports.
Hafa-day CNMI, here's what's making news on Guam. More aid is on the way, and according to Federal Emergency Management Agency Region 9 Public Affairs Specialist Frank Mansell, it could arrive as early as this weekend. A 50-bed Federal Medical Station, or FMS, is already in storage, with another 50-bed FMS possibly landing on Guam either tomorrow or Sunday.
But along with the disaster declaration comes what's called a push, and we push blankets, cots, water, MREs, basic personal kits, toothbrushes, toothpaste, that sort of thing. That's called a push. And with that push, we received the first part of our push. That came from the Strategic National Stockpile. That arrives Sunday, and it's being stored. Part of that was deployed to the territory, so they have part of that Strategic National Stockpile, and we have the other, and we're expecting a second Strategic National Stockpile push.
Mansell clarifies the equipment and supplies are being held in storage in preparation for when the local government will need them deployed. Stay informed 24/7 by checking out KUAM.com or downloading the KUAM News app available for iOS or Android. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Adriana Cotero.
Stay tuned because coming up next is your weather report.
We are with you. At times when you need us most, you can count on us to be there. When you need someone to talk to. When you need to stay informed. When you need to brighten your day. When you need to stay connected. We are here keeping our promise that while the world is changing, we keep working so you can keep connecting. We are your Docomo Pacific family, and we are here to help.
Green sea turtles and hawksbill turtles call the Mariana Islands home. They are an important part of the marine ecosystem. They are under threat, and they are protected under CNMI law. Keep plastic out of the ocean. Keep vehicles off the beach. Use the Sea Turtle Stranding Hotline if you see poaching activities or if you see a turtle in trouble. Call 287-8537 and save a turtle.
My family is on whole home Wi-Fi powered by Plume.
Since we installed the Docomo whole home Wi-Fi, what did you guys notice about it?
When you pull up the driveway, it automatically connects, and I don't have to get out of my car right away and come upstairs to go on my phone. My favorite thing is that it doesn't buffer when I'm watching YouTube.
My favorite thing is that when Addie calls now, there's no lag. Like before, it used to be where I couldn't see her sometimes and I have to hang up and then call her back, and now I don't have to do that.
You know what's a good thing too is that when you come over to visit, I could give you your own password. I can assign a time limit so that I can say that you can only be on it for 1 hour, so that means you won't get in trouble from your mom.
And then you can go home.
The thing that I love the most is that I can freeze the internet for periods of time so that we can enjoy dinner time like this. Right, rolling your eyes. So I'll turn it back on after dinner.
Whole home Wi-Fi powered by Plume. Docomo Pacific, better together.
And here is your daily weather report. We have a high of 89, a low of 75, 62% humidity. Tomorrow, partly cloudy with isolated showers, east winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. We have a high of 87, a low of 78 tomorrow. Seas are 3 to 5 feet. High tide will be at 10:34 a.m., low tide at 6:17 p.m. We will have sunrise at 6:03 a.m. and sunset at 6:31 p.m. Thank you for watching this Monday edition of KSPN2 News. Have a great and safe rest of your day.